My name is Carson. Welcome to Thrifty Garage, a channel where we do everyday repairs, how-tos, and reviews. And in today's video, we'll be doing some upgrades to my enclosed trailer. I use this trailer for my landscaping business, and I've got some flaws in my setup, and I want to fix those. After a year in use, I got some good ideas on how to set this up correctly. These trailer videos have been pretty popular for my channel, and I think one of the reasons for that is people have a hard time envisioning how to build out a trailer, and by gathering other people's ideas, it helps them build it out. So I'm gonna kind of walk you through my process, what I'm thinking, and why I'm putting things where I am. After a first full year in business, this is kind of the setup I want, that I've kind of learned that I want. Will I change it next year? Possibly. But that's also the reason I'm using E-Tracks. I'm gonna set up this E-Tracks in a way that if I do decide to change things up, I can move them around instead of having to move shelves like I've been doing. I'll just be moving these E-Tracks, the brackets, the hooks themselves. So we'll dig into showing you where I'm going and why. So this wall I want to keep relatively clean most of the time. So my intent here is I'm going to put 2 vertical E-Tracks along this wall. We've got a stud there. We'll skip a stud, and we got a stud here. That'll give us a nice long shelf, and then we can use, I believe I've got 4, maybe 6 of these shelf brackets, and then I can put these shelves on, have removable shelves on this wall. When I need shelves here, I can stack up the shelves on this wall, and when I need them gone so I can use my mower, I can take them down and the E-Tracks will remain. You can see here on this wall, my foundation's already set up. I've got 3 rails of vertical E-Tracks, and I've already started reconfiguring this with the new brackets. Here's the old brackets. Here's the new brackets. These are really hard to push on and get them to drop in there. They're a little bit heavier duty, regardless so they are bending. And these ones actually pop up relatively easy. So I'm excited to try these out and see how well they work in comparison. I think it'll definitely be easier to put on. And so I've already put in those 4. I'm gonna try and, if I were to do this again, I'd probably do longer E-Tracks along this wall, and then I'd drop this blower down, drop that blower down, and I'd have room for another trimmer there. I still think I can fit another trimmer here, but it'll be tight. Still trying to figure out my setup with this blower. Gonna need some sort of blower tube hook. Maybe run it this way. I'm not sure. We've got that blower tube hook there. Unfortunately, this isn't gonna work here. These brackets require that the shelves be at a 90-degree angle. Because I'm going at this angle, there's nothing to hold this back piece from tipping back down. So these are going to be better purposed 2 on a wall where they've got something to support the back side as well as the front side. Up front here, I am going to go back to my original style with the blocks. So I'll reinstall those blocks, put that shelf back in. I don't like that shelf. It's not easily removable, and like I said, my ladder doesn't fit with that shelf there. So that's probably a deal for a different day. I want to try and figure out a more removable system for up there. Again, with the E-Tracks, when I did this first time, I was on a budget, really trying to be cheap, and I cut these down to length and tried to use them in as many places as I could. And because of that, I don't have the extended E-Tracks here, so I will put another strip of E-Tracks there. In fact, I think I'll do the normal E-Tracks horizontally here, because then I can put another tire rack on this side, and I'll be able to adjust it side to side and fit it where I want it. And the reason I've chopped these down, you can see I've got a strip of E-Tracks here, a strip of E-Tracks there, and that's why I've cut off these ends to make them fit. I already went ahead and installed this E-Tracks, and I'm already excited about that. I am a little bit, it's a learning experience, so I'm disappointed about this. Because this bracket drops down, I almost need this in the opposite configuration where it turns up and then hooks. But I think what I'll end up doing there is I will get a small strip of E-Tracks right along here, so I can move these brackets up higher, and then they'll fit my rakes. Currently my rakes are too long for that, so I think we'll put it up here somehow. That'll give us room on the bottom. So like I mentioned before, with these shovels and rakes, the tail ends like to wag on these, so I will take another strip that's the same length and attach it to the bottom, and then I'll put some sort of hooks on it. I'm thinking something like this, something I can hook on the E-Tracks on one side and loop it around to the other side. I tried using these ropes, but I had to feed the handle in through before I put them on this thing. So that's kind of I'll have a row of E-Tracks on the bottom, a row of E-Tracks on the top. Still trying to figure out this side. Now I've got this wall to kind of build out. I might do a vertical one here, or a couple verticals, or I might do some horizontals. I want to do my water jug here, and I'm trying to figure out what I want to use this bracket for. I think that's can be used for a blower. but I don't like the sharp angles on this. I like this blower bracket because it's got those the soft handles. It's, you know, better on the handle. It's not going to tear this up. Same with this one. This one's kind of a rough edge. It's not crazy rough. It's not too sharp, but I think over time that will dig into the plastic. Again, kind of just the brainstorming phase. Not sure if this is where it's going to end up. But that's kind of where I'm thinking and why I'm thinking, and kind of where we're headed with that. We are blowing through screws here. Now that we're getting into this, I'm remembering that being the case. This is the same set I bought last time, so I can't remember how much these are. If I recall correctly, they're kind of expensive screws. And you can see here, I'm skipping quite a few. This vertical E-track's nice because I'm running right along the stud. If I had something heavy on here, I could put a screw every single hole. Obviously, they give me some versatility. I don't have to fill every single one in. And also, what I'm doing to save cost here, you can see on this one, is I put a wood screw on the left-hand side because it's not going into the stud. And I put the self-tappers on the right-hand side. So that's something I learned last time in doing this to save some cost. Right now for the setup, I've spaced these out the way I want to. I've got a break of 3, and then I'll put one in here, and then I've got a break of 3. But just so I don't run out during setup, I'm just skipping these out. And that just gives me the ability to keep working and keep getting this done without having all the right parts and pieces, not having to go pick up more. So I'm deciding to put my shelves here. One thing I decided to do was actually mimic the same setup I've got over there. So if I ever want to change my trimmer location, I can always move my trimmers from the front to the back here, as well as if I want to ever move my shelves up to the front, they're identically the same spacing. With that, I also matched my heights here. So we've got a height up here of, from the top trim to the top plate there is at 1 3/8 inches. So I matched that whole opening over there. So if I ever wanted to make a shelf that would span the entire length, I could put those shelf brackets on every single one of these, and I could run all the way down to here. I think these are set up the same height, but you can see I stepped down a little bit lower. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, they're not the same height. So you can see here, those E-tracks are higher, that one's in the middle, and that one's lower. So that's one thing you can think of, planning your stuff out, making sure your heights all match up in order for future versatility. If I had a ton of this E-track from the get-go, you can see we've got a little bit left over there on the bottom, but decide if you want to go high or low and go floor to ceiling with E-tracks and then space them out. I mean, if you've got the funds for it, put one on every stud all the way down, all the same height, and you've really got some versatility in your trailer. The E-tracks is the most expensive part of the system. It's kind of your infrastructure. Right, that, you know, last year when I did this, I did it on a budget, and I also have a video showing the best prices, how I got the best prices on everything. I went to Amazon, I went to a bunch of different vendors and found the best prices for everything. This time around, I'm not doing it that way. I'm spending a little bit more time and money on this and getting it done right, and I'm putting in some more infrastructure and making it so I have that flexibility to change things out. Got this side too, has turned out nice. I feel kind of bad this is not going to be very functional on the bottom there, but it does serve a purpose, and that is necessary. But I really liked how this turned out, giving me higher option, lower option. So I don't like where this paper towel holder is for now. It sticks out too far away from the wall. It's kind of a multi-purpose holder. We can do paper towels in there, or we can do other things. We can do the string trimmer line, but with how far out it is, I just don't like it. I think it is adjustable, so I could push it in further. But I think actually a better solution, instead of having it on this wall, it's actually going to be move it up front there. One thing I would love to have up front here, you know, here's the door. So right here is kind of unused space. Nobody's ever walking there. It's not in the pathway. Whereas coming this way, I want things pretty tight against the wall. So I could do paper towels, a fire extinguisher, a grease gun. I had my grease gun over here. But all those things that are not too big and bulky, but like that would be a perfect spot along the wall there, and it's completely unused at this point. We're going to use this sheet of wood that I used to have up on my wall for my shovel and rake racks. It's perfect size, it fits right here. I'm going to screw this into this wall, and then I can screw my E-tracks through both of them, and it should be strong enough. This is one of those situations where we don't really have a good setup to use self-tappers. We've got a stud wall along there. We actually have two intersecting right there. And then we've got one right here where this door jamb is. So nothing really to attach it to. But if we screw into this wood and give it some more girth, that'll be able to spread over to those edges. Okay, that makes for a really nice, strong, sturdy connection there. If I didn't already have this one, I probably would move it over there. Because it's really not a bad space. So everything's looking pretty good in here. We're looking pretty clean. We've cut in between here to fit this. One area that we changed, which now has holes, is right here. We got a hole where I had a vertical heat tracks, as well as this one. So I'm gonna measure this out from there to there and see if we can put another piece of E-tracks there. I'd like to drop the sledgehammers down, as well as the picks down, so we can do one rubber band bungee cord across the whole bottom and hold all the handles against the wall. Sorry for the noise. We've got some road work going on. But here's a look at the trailer. This is right after we pulled off a big job, a 3-week job, and it's a mess. So all of these, you can see it works pretty well for a landscape vehicle, and none of our shovels are up. We gotta hang these back up, get this organized. We're gonna get the mower in here today, starting mows right now. So finish up this project just in time to start hitting our weekly mows and get this mess cleaned up.